met the IRA's campaign with dignity and restraint. 5 Catholics have been murdered over the years. The IRA have killed almost 20 times that number. The Protestant community says it won't allow itself to be provoked into wholesale retaliation.
It's very interesting to notice the difference in response between a couple of Republicans killed in Belfast, and the whole city breaks out in uproar and burning of buses and rioting of every kind, and the dignified acceptance and forgiveness with which the people of Enniskillen took the bomb outrage there last November.
A 20-year-old nurse was one of 9 people killed in the Remembrance Day bomb. Out of the carnage, one ray of optimism seemed to emerge.
Certainly don't feel bitterness. People are surprised that I don't, but I don't. I prayed for them last night. And sincerely. And I hope I get the grace to continue to do so.
Gordon Wilson's words of forgiveness for his daughter's killers echoed around the world. There was talk of a turning point, of the 2 communities coming together in outrage at the attack. But the border farmers' past experience told them even this atrocity would herald no change in their perilous situation.
They're supposed to have brought this home to the people, bombing in the skills. Then the happiness bad bombs, is it? Worse.
Oh, yeah.
And our leaders will get up. Had men naked up and they say, well, this is shocking. They're shocked at this. You know. I don't know how they live now at all that they've got that many shocks. There must be men of steel that have got the shocks that are now. I have appalled are with this atrocity. That's what happens to them, that's all that's about it. The next day they forget about that.
That cynicism has been borne out by subsequent events. The murder of Gillian Johnson at her home near Balleek hit particularly hard, especially when the IRA eventually claimed it had been a mistake. Tuesday's bomb in Lisnaskea was also described by the IRA as regrettable.
Will there always be those mistakes? Well, that's not a person probably should be addressing me, but I suppose there's a certain small percentage of mistakes will happen. Most likely.
And do you think the nationalist community accepts that those mistakes are justifiable and simply the way it has to be?
Yes, the vast majority of them, yes.
If the IRA is trying to push Protestants out of South Fermanagh, it must believe its campaign is working. The border communities have suffered intensely through 20 years of murder and intimidation. More and more they're withdrawing into safer built-up areas, but more too are leaving Fermanagh altogether for Britain, Canada and elsewhere. School rolls are falling. Lisnaskea High School has lost 10 of its local primaries, most as a direct result of terrorism. The churches too are counting ever smaller congregations. This trend is accelerating as the authorities encourage RUC and UDR members to withdraw from their isolated homes, where in their off-duty hours they're most vulnerable to IRA attack.
I knew the time I was going, I knew the time I was coming home at any time, and no trouble in shooting me at any time. But the authorities thought I was safer there and I had to stop away from home. So I had to leave the wife and family here. When I came home an odd day in the middle of the day, some odd days.
Local areas used to be patrolled by locally recruited men. Today, few are prepared to expose themselves so openly in the most dangerous corners. Police and soldiers have to be brought in from elsewhere.
There wouldn't have been that many potential police in that area, and I think, but they wouldn't really have wanted them because it would cost too much. The manpower it would cost for the try and keep them alive wouldn't have been really worth it. Yeah, at the beginning, there were quite a few security members down there in the area. Now, they weren't killed, they were scared. I've had phone calls from people, right up close to the border, and they're anxious to get out at the minute.
Those who remain on the border know their numbers will continue to decline as long as the IRA campaign continues.
There's none of my family just in the area, and I don't think I would ever want them to come back. Certainly I wouldn't want to move out of the area. but I wouldn't want to ask any of my family for to come back.
Well, I think that's the last thing we do. I can't see us come back. Because, you know, once you've been away, I don't think you want to go back.
So many of our friends are now deceased. But for terrorism, I'm sure it will still be around. Yes, you feel great sadness. You also get frustrated. Certainly do. Because, you know, where you're living, you can see things that could be done for to help, but, well, there's nobody for to turn to, there's nobody for to do that.
For many Protestants, the effect of incidents like the attack on the Lisnaskey bus is to stiffen their resolve not to surrender to terrorism.
Well, that's stubbornness. Plus, I don't like to get them to have been an awful lot, you know, half left, and there is very depleted. But, you know, never actually thought of leave.
This determination to stay, whatever the consequences, is matched by resentment at what most Protestants feel to be the failure of government to resolve their predicament. Their feeling of sadness at the disintegration of their community is compounded by the nagging thought that it may all have been in vain.
That's wasted. Yes, wasted. And I'm not the only one. I do have meetings there and disabled people. You see the number of people there sat there. That life's lost for nothing. What for? Nothing. See that there were no arms, see that there were no legs, see that there were no eyes, and all that. But we are looking. If you're up there in the graveyard and let them see, you'll see the ones not so looking, your own neighbours.